go. Good. There we are. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I trust that you are in a safe and marvelous, beautiful space on this Miracle Monday. I'm Anita C. Powell. Those of you who don't know me, or Anita Caprice, my poet name. And today, this is lecture 12 of the Rare Disease Legislative Advocate Lecture. And what I'm going to be doing is sharing, and forgive me, I'm looking down because I'm going to put my phone so that it doesn't ring. Today, I'm going to share information. There's some good news that I came across in doing research regarding the disease, disorder, condition, syndrome of scleroderma. And the information that I received came from the scleroderma new drug treatment, Scleroderma News. This was written September 21st, 2023 by Marissa Wexler, MS. Okay, and just to recap, a rare disease is identified as a disease where 200,000 or less people have been diagnosed in the United States of America and 3 million or less worldwide. Now, scleroderma, which is also called systemic sclerosis or SS-C, is an autoimmune disease or disorder. I still haven't, I know some people say disease, but anyway, I'm not going to get into that. It's it is a condition where there's fibrosis, meaning hardening, scarring of tissue of any tissue, because we're atom, AMCTO, atom, molecule, cell, tissue, organ. So scleroderma, depending on what type you have, it can affect organ involvement, inflammation. It deals with excessive collagen. Collagen. And then, collagen is what it's in a lot of foods. And a lot of us, male and female, I think more maybe female, we look for this because it's an anti-aging type of thing. And it's a protective type of thing as well. Well, with scleroderma, what happens is when a foreign body invades our system, our body, then we have these warrior cells and different things T cells that go to that foreign substance and try to get rid of it. And that's a beautiful thing because that's a protective thing. Well, with scleroderma, what happens, it just continues. So our T warrior cells are just continuing to be active, and then that causes excessive collagen, which then causes inflammation. And then what happens is there's scarring on our skin and other organ involvement. Now, what I'm sharing with you today is what I found out. I said, this is really cool. There is a drug. That's why clinical trials are so important, and I advocate that. This particular medication is called FT011, and the name of this article that I received, it says scores orphan drug designation from FDA. Well, we know Food Drug Administration. And what I want to do is explain a little bit more about scleroderma first, okay? There is systemic scleroderma, which is, like I said, SSC, and under that name, we have limited and diffused. Now, with limited, it involves like the fingers, some changing of the fingers and the hands. It's the most common form of scleroderma. And scleroderma, it predominantly is said to affect women, but it does men too, 45 on. However, children can get scleroderma. As a matter of fact, the morphia or localized, that's more common in children. And scleroderma is prevalent in the BIPOC. In the BIPOC community. So that's the Black, Indigenous, people of color community. Okay, so with scleroderma, you have the limited, which will, it will be more on your forearms. It could be on your face, but it's more skin. It's more of your integumentary system involvement. With diffuse scleroderma, that is more organ involvement, where it not only does it has an effect on our skin, it can also have cause organ internal, our internal organ involvement. There's localized and morphia, and like I said, the morphia, that's mainly of the skin, and then the linear just means it's one side, linear, one side of the body, which can include trunk, arms, legs, neck. Okay, this particular FT011, it is there was a study that began earlier this year, and the phase 2 study, the result was there were 30 adults that participated, and these are the adults that was diagnosed with diffused systemic sclerosis. And the result was generally positive, with no serious issues reported, and also there were no side effects, whereas the study had to be stopped. That's incredible. That's an amazing thing here, because now the FDA granted the orphan drug designation status, and it's an oral medication, so it's not intravenous, so you're not having to be, given a lot of shots or anything. So you take it by mouth, and the medication is exclusively coming from Serta Therapeutics. Okay, that company. Now, with this therapeutic option for scleroderma patients, Dr. Kelly, PhD, he is the CEO and founder of Serta. He says that this designation represents an important milestone in establishing first-class clinical benefits targeting the root cause of fibrosis. That's wonderful, because a lot with scleroderma diffuse, the systemic, the all over round condition and involvement of this condition is looked at. However, very much so, it is the lungs, because it is the lungs that can cause a great deal of issue if the scarring continues, of course. So anyway, this is a first-class clinical benefit targeting the root cause of fibrosis, another word for hardening and scarring, and for scleroderma. That, scleroderma in and of itself, from what I understand, does not have a drug exclusively for that condition. That means that there are other drugs like CellCept, other drugs that come from other that are given to other types of conditions. It's being borrowed. So that's why it's like orphan, because it's an orphan. The drug in itself does not have a home, if you will. Well, to put it this way, FT011, this oral medication from Serta Therapeutics, it will have its home, meaning it will have a home within the scleroderma community. And community, I mean by the body, where this is a medicine that is exclusively for this condition. Now, what happens here, which is a good thing, is that the orphan drug status that is designated by FDA, it gives the pharmaceutical manufacturing company exclusive rights for, it's either a 7 or 10-year period, along with other benefits. It gives this company the opportunity to recoup researching cost. Now, when I was thinking, I said, exclusive monopoly. Okay, that means, just in business, sometimes, that monopoly means, okay, the price for this particular medication can be so exorbitant because it's an exclusivity type of thing. Well, then I remembered and I thought about, I said, well, we have the Help Copay Act, HR 5801, and then also the Safe Step Act, which ensure patients can safely and effectively have access to treatment. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, so perhaps, those two components, those two acts can kind of, if it happens, because it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to, just because something, some company has a monopoly on something, doesn't mean that the prices are going to be so high because of this privilege, if you will. But what I was just thinking, just on that other note, just the angel's advocate, just thinking in broader terms, like what can happen. And then I thought, okay, well, perhaps those two acts, Help Copay Act and the Safe Step Act, will kind of intervene if in the event that happens. Now, with orphan drug designation, I want to share with you that first class clinical benefits. What that means is that, again, that particular drug is going to be exclusively for that condition. That's a big thing. That's a big deal. So I'm just sharing this information with you guys, and forgive my manners, because I was so excited and wanted to make sure that I delivered this information in a orderly fashion and in a clear and precise fashion, that I forgot to say thank you so much for being with me. Thank you for watching. If you're watching now, and if you watch the replay, thank you so much. And of course, on YouTube, if you're watching YouTube, please, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and then click like, and then now you can add a comment, because I learned how to maneuver YouTube where people can leave a comment. So I just wanted to share this wonderful information. Next month will be information on another medication that I found out about. And then in January, we're going to have the wonderful Josephine Roach. She is a breast cancer advocate, and she's going to be sharing information on some of the cancers or types of breast cancer that is not really known, because that's just not really known. I'll leave it at that, because let her do her thing. Okay, so before I close out, what I'd like to do is share with you an energy medicine routine that is very easy, because we know when we are under less stress, because we know illness, dis-ease, disorder, condition, syndrome, it says it's already been established, 80% emotional, 20% physical. So I'm taking this wonderful class on energy medicine, because I'm an energy gal, those who know. And this particular exercise or activity treatment is called the zip up. And what the zip up does, it's the energy, what you're doing, you're running along the central meridian in the front, and then also our chakras, which are aligned in the back on the spine. You're touching on that by touching with your hands. Your hands are healing. Our hands are healing. And when you do this particular technique, that's what I was looking for. When you do this particular technique, what it does, it builds confidence, and it also helps us to see things objectively. So, like I had shared in another lecture, Don Miguel Ruiz and the 4 agreements. He said one of the 4 agreements is don't take things personal. And Paramahansa Yogananda had indicated how the spirit and God is impersonal. I didn't understand that at one time, but now I do. Impersonal means that our spirit and the universe is not affected by the mundaneness of the earth. So in other words, when we do this technique, what we're doing is building confidence, and we're able to objectively look at situations instead of personally. And we know if we're able to look at something objectively, what does that do? That automatically reduces stress. And then what happens when we reduce stress? We are healing. The healing energy is able to move, flow about. So anyway, all we do, okay, I have a call. I'm gonna have to. All we do is take whatever hand you want to do, go under the lower part of your belly, like to the groin area, and just move your hand up, okay, all the way up till you get to the bottom of your lip. And then you can keep your eyes open or close your eyes, whatever. But what you want to do is imagine that you are locking it right there and you're throwing away the key. I do this either, you can do it all throughout the day if you want, but I do, when I do them in the morning, I do it 3 times. Sometimes I'll do it 6 times. What the lock of the key just, what it is that what you are locking in that confidence, and you are locking in that ability or capability to look at things objectively. All right, so that is our lecture. I hope this, so again, just if you guys want to do it with just whatever hand, all the way up, stop right here. Imagine that you're locking something and you're throwing away that key, and you're locking in objectivity, and you're locking in that confidence. It works. I've been using it, and I can really feel feel a difference in my way of thinking, and I'm experiencing the sensations of emotions that are calming. So just try it, because we know that manifestation is in the belief. So I believe it, so maybe that's why it's working. Anyway, we know that the journey of self-recovery is absolutely beautiful, and I hope you know Soul Beautiful, both he and she, so are you. All right, thank you so much. And again, bless you, and thank you for listening. I hope this served you well. Please pass the message, share if anyone that you know who has scleroderma, share the information. Anyone that wants to get in contact with me, please feel free to contact me at Advocate Anita C @gmail.com. Blessings.